Okay, well done so far, Year 7s. We've done a brilliant job of producing the drawings of our base, our steel pin, and then our acrylic squares. Just a reminder, you should have 5 different acrylic squares: a 65mm square, a 55mm square, a 45mm square, a 35mm square, and a 25mm square. All of those squares should be at 3mm thick and should have a 6mm hole right through the middle, yes, all the way through that piece of acrylic. So, once you've got to that stage, and we've done all that, we then are going to start doing assembly. So we're going to put all our parts together. To do that, it's quite straightforward. We just need to go to this plus button here. So I would tend to open up one of your parts. Normally the easiest one, like I've done it, is to start off with your Tower of Hanoi base, because that's where we're going to start. And then it says insert new element, this little plus icon at the bottom. And we're going to create a new assembly. When we do that, you'll see it will load up a different page. And again, what we've got across the top now is we've got some inserts. So we've got an insert button, we'll be using that in a second. We've got all these different types of what we call mates, how I'm going to put all my parts together. So, I might have some that go into a hole, a Revolute one, some that allows me to slide things up and down. I can put mate planes together. I can have something that's cylindrical mate, so like a wheel going onto a shaft, all that. We'll look at a few of these as we start inserting. So what we do, obviously we've got nothing on screen, so the first thing we need to do is insert our first part. That will bring up the part that you open, so hopefully your base. So again, all I'm going to do is click on that bottom drawing, and you'll see it will drop it onto our assembly drawing. All we then do is left click and position it. I want to position it somewhere near the origin. Once I've done that, the first thing we want to do, however, is right click over the top of it, and then we want to fix it. That'll hold and fix that position of our base, so it won't allow us to move it when we come to assemble everything else. So that's how it should be. Next thing is we need to then search for all our other parts. So what you need to do, you need to go to this other documents button on the assembly, and then you'll need to open your Onshape, My Onshapes, and that'll bring up, clearly I've got a lot more than you, all your different parts that you've drawn up. Again, I've already done this one, so I'm going to have to just show you something slightly different. So we're going to start off by inserting our steel pin first, but you'll see that this one's actually called version 1 because I've already imported it on one that I did previously. So you're going to do this, so click on the steel pin. I'm going to do it on this acrylic square so you can see the stages that come up. But once you've done this, you can see that it's saying that there's been lots and lots of changes to that drawing. So basically it's telling me, do you want to copy the last drawing you've done? So all you need to do whenever you do this is, so you're clicking on the steel pin, is create a version of that acrylic square. So you're going to copy an acrylic. Again, I would just leave the name V1. You could change that to copying acrylic square version 1, but again, it brings an image up. And you can see it just then, once it does that, it'll then just bring up that part in our insert part section. Like I say, I've already done it for the steel pin, that create a new version of it, so I'll just go straight to that. So when I click the steel pin, click on the part, you'll see it drops our steel pin, or I can drop it where I want. Don't try and drop it right where it needs to be, right in that hole. So I'm going to move it away. We then need to think about what I want to do. So if you think about it, I want that outside, the cylindrical part, to mate with the outside, the inside of that hole. There, yeah. I then also want this part, so the bottom, if I rotate around, that bottom face, let me just zoom in a bit, that bottom face to actually mate or touch the bottom of our hole on our Tower of Hanoi. So, because we don't want it to rotate round or move once it's in there, we're then going to pick this first mate option, this fastened mate. So basically it means that it removes all freedom. So I won't be able to move it up and down, I won't be able to rotate it, all that type of thing. So I'm going to click on that. It's then asking me to what bits I want to mate. So it's a bit tricky, this bit, so you need to be able to zoom in and pan. Again, if you can't remember how to zoom in, it's your middle mouse button. To pan, so move it across the page, if you hold down your middle wheelie button, it allows you to move it Yeah, and then the right hand mouse button allows you to rotate. So I'm going to zoom in and pan so I can get access to the bottom. You'll see it's actually starting to select some of the bits. So I actually want it to select that bottom. So I'm going to zoom right in, and you'll see the bottom circle is selected, and I've got what we call this pin fastener, this little icon. If I move into the middle, you'll see that pin icon's right in the middle there. We want that to be, so move off the drawing, right on the bottom onto there. So left click. We're then going to tell it where we want to mate to. So again, I'm going to rotate, so using my right mouse button, and then going to zoom in. So at the moment, if I selected that top face, I'm just going to rotate around. Yeah, you can see that I can select the top face. That would actually just move that steel pin, yeah, to be positioned exactly level with the top face. It will still have 30mm sticking up. Well, we don't want that. We actually want it to be in the bottom of the hole. So again, this is where we've got to zoom in. So I'm going to move out and try and select the bottom hole. Yeah, I'm just going to move off the page, zoom in a little bit, and then hopefully you can see there I can select the very bottom of the hole in the middle. Again, it's quite tricky. It takes a bit of practice about using your mouse and all that type of thing, but make sure you are selecting that bottom face right at the bottom. So, and again, you can see, and again I can still rotate, you can see that that pin is now stuck in our hole, all totally fixed. Again, once we're happy with that, we can then just click the tick box. So that means that if you try and move that, again it's saying I can't move it. If I did it a slightly different way, so if I looked at, if I thought, oh, I could use this slider mate, this is a slightly different one. This is just for an example. Oh, sorry, I'm inserted, so I need to go back to insert, go back to my steel pin. So again, you can see that you don't need to draw your pin 3 times. I can just use that same part. So again, put my part on there. What I could do, let's have a little look. If I look at, this one here, so a slider mate. So basically a cylinder going inside a cylinder, you'll see the difference. So if I click on that one, again, I could in theory, and again this is slightly different, I'm just going to show you the sort of things it will do. If I then just select the entire part, and again I'll have that little pin, this little sort of looks a bit like a timer in the middle, and then select this circle at the top here. What it'll do, you can see it's put it in too far, so it's actually aligned the top face with that middle slider. However, because I've just used this slider one, it'll actually allow me to continue to move that up and down. So you can see how some of the mates are slightly different. Again, we're just going to click off that. If we want to get rid of one of these, if you've done something wrong, again I can hover over it, right click it, delete it, and get rid of that. So again, that'll allow me to move my pin completely out of the way, and I can start again. Like I say, we actually want to fix that in position. We're going to use that slider when we come to do the acrylic pin. So again, we're going to fastened mate. Again, I'm going to try and select the very, very bottom, so not on there, off that, so the very bottom, and I want our little pinwheel, I call it, right on the bottom in the middle. So I'll click on that, left click, and then I'm going to rotate my base, and then I'm going to try and select the bottom. So again, it quite often wants to do the top face. Again, it's quite often where students go wrong. I've really got to zoom in and make sure it's selected the bottom of our hole. Yeah, click it, that then drops it in, click on the tick box, and that's our second pin done. Again, I'm just going to show you, again, it's the wrong way of doing it, but just the idea of how you would go about potentially doing something slightly different. So again, I'm going to go back, find my steel pin, drop it over. What sometimes happens, so we're going to use that fastened mate again. I'm going to go to the bottom of my pin. That's quite easy to get right, so make sure it's on the bottom face. Make sure my little timer pinwheel's on there. I select that, and you'll see how this works. So I'm going to do it wrong. So I'm going to select the top face. You can see there, if I've got it positioned to that top face, it will move it, but you can see it basically mates it exactly on that top face. And again, once it's there, I can't move it, I can't slide it in and out, so then I would have to close that off. I would have to delete that last mate, yeah, to allow me to redo it. Again, much the same. Select the bottom, and again, this will be obvious about how it is. So I can set up face, I can actually say, right, I want it wherever that little wheel is, the little pin, yeah, that's where it'll actually try and mate the bottom of that to that position. So if I do it accidentally there, you can see it moves it in level, in line on that location. So again, clearly that's not what I want to do. I'm just showing you that for information, so we'll do it correct. Just move that out of the way, give me a bit of space. Right, so mated fasten. Select the bottom, make sure my little wheel's in the middle. Rotate it round, again, fine. Zoom right in. We want the bottom of the hole and our little pinwheel exactly in the middle. That'll hopefully drop our pin in the right place. Click the tick box. Automatically tries to do the next fastener. We just click off that. So then we've got our 3 steel pins in the right place. Again, we can't move them anywhere. They're fixed as if we've hammered them in like we did at school. And we're then ready to attach our